Like It or Not with Benjamin Dixon starts now.
Welcome to Like It or Not, where we're free to tell the truth and not care who doesn't like it. We begin this morning in a suburb near Minneapolis, Minnesota, where protests erupted overnight in response to Brooklyn Center police shooting and killing 20-year-old Daunte Wright. Now, Brooklyn Center, again, is a suburb of Minneapolis, Minnesota, the very same city that is the epicenter of the Derek Chauvin trial, the police officer who shot and killed George Floyd. According to Minneapolis Public Radio, Daunte Wright, who was identified by family members, was stopped by police at around 2 p.m. as he was driving in a residential neighborhood. Brooklyn Center Police said in a statement that officers discovered a, quote, outstanding warrant and tried to take him into custody. When he got back into his car, an officer shot Wright, who managed to drive off but crashed into another vehicle several blocks away. He was declared dead at the scene. Katie Wright, the mother of Daunte Wright, spoke to reporters about what she knew of her son's death at the hands of police officers. Let's take a listen in.
And Daunte said, why? And he said, well, explain to you when you get out of the car. So I heard the phone get either put on the dashboard or dropped. And I heard scuffling, and I heard the police officer say, Daunte, don't run. And then the other officer said, put the phone down, and hung it up. And then a minute later, I called, and his girlfriend answered, which was the passenger in the car, and said that he'd been shot. She put it on the driver's side, and my son was laying there lifeless. And then I said, where are you? And she said, I don't know. And the other officer said, hang up the phone. She hung up the phone, and I called 911 to find out where they were. Then I heard the police officer.
Now, the National Guard has been deployed in response to all the protests to, quote unquote, protect the Brooklyn Center Police Department, which was the center of the protest last night. Rebecca and James, it is something about this time of year. It seems like police officers, here we are again, a year later,
in the
same city, basically.
I didn't want to, when I did see the story, I'm like, wow, we have to start off our show discussing something that we've been dealing with already, that we always seem to deal with, that we always seem to run back into, that we always seem to
like clockwork.
It's ridiculous. And I couldn't read the full story because I already knew. You read it like it was something we read before, because it is. You read it like this is something that we covered before, like this was one of our scripts or our readers that we read before, because it actually is. This keeps on happening. And I know people are going to say somewhere down the line, we know what we're going to get. We know what we're going to get. We're going to get the fact that people are saying, hey, he was resisting arrest. Hey, he was running. Hey, so that means that the officer had to kill him. So I don't know. I didn't want to read much on social media about it. I already saw the people taking to the streets. Mind you, this is a city that's already dealing with George Floyd and the trial right now. And so this is not new to them either. They're out there. They're like, okay, listen, we're ready for this. We're going to burn this city down for every time they take a life. Every single time they take a life. And I have no issue with that. But it's when does it stop? This is the same question that we ask all the time. When will it stop? Will it ever stop? Like, what do we have to do?
It's protests aren't enough, but the protests are understandable. The rioting doesn't seem to get their attention, but the rioting is understandable. And I don't care what anybody says. I'm not going to sit here and complain or cry or badmouth or talk down about people who are in the center of that terror, and their expression of their anger turns into rioting. You shouldn't have killed the man, right? A traffic stop and an arrest warrant should not end with someone's life being taken. But over and over and over again, we see that that's the case. And James, it's like clockwork, man. It's like every year, I mean, it happens all year long, but there's something about going into the spring and the summer. It's almost like clockwork. You can almost guarantee these police officers are going to start killing people every single year. Here we are again.
Yeah, it's starting already. You know, May, June, July. Those are the 3 months. So I really have nothing to say about it, bro. It's just like another Monday, another black man shot.
Wow.
Exactly.
It should not be so normal. Like
it should.
That it
like shouldn't
because it's the truth. You're saying like you have nothing to say about it, but it's because we've said it all before, and it shouldn't be as simple as Monday rolling back around, and it's like up another day, another dollar, another black man shot. We got to work again. Right. We got to desensitize ourselves to this. We got to shut ourselves down in the next 3 days, and then be back on this after that. So it's
right. And that's the thing. It's like we have said it. There's no more analysis that needs to take place. Police officers kill us. And anybody who can't admit that or observe that or testify to that, you don't want to see it. It is part and parcel of the black experience in this country. You get pulled over by the police. Hell, you don't even got to be pulled over. You could be sleeping in your house. Mm-hmm. And they come in, no knock warrants, and they kill you.
Yes.
And it's because there's a level of and again, I'm getting ready to say the same thing. You could listen to every single episode of mine over the last 6 years, and it's the same analysis. They have dehumanized black people in this country.
Yeah.
They have dehumanized us, and they are so much quicker to pull the trigger on us. Now, this isn't to say, because one of the worst videos I ever saw of a police shooting was the young man, and his name escapes me because there's so many, but this was a white man who was on his knees in a hotel lobby, pleading for his life, begging, and they killed him anyway. They executed. The man was on his hands and knees. So this isn't to say the cops aren't killing white folks. I'm saying white folks, y'all should be just as mad as us because they would kill you just like they would kill us, but they're quicker to kill us because of the history of dehumanizing black lives in this country. They have no qualm. They have no hesitation, no reservation. And now this 20-year-old young man is dead.
Yeah.
Young man.
Because he went back to his vehicle.
Daniel Shaver. Daniel Shaver is the name of the white man who was killed in that hotel hallway. And it's just one of the most it's a police state. Rebecca, I'm sorry. I just want to make sure I put his name right. It came to me. Daniel Shaver. We live in a police state where they will execute you on your hands and your knees. But if you're a black person, they'll execute you while you sleep. Go ahead, Rebecca.
And then they'll execute you while you just go back to your car. They'll execute you while you're asking for help. They don't care. They just do not care. And the name that we got to talk about now and today is all these names. Like, you said there were so many, and especially with the black ones, like we there's so many names, right?
Yeah.
They become hashtags. Some that didn't even get to make it there before hashtags were a thing. So today's name is Daunte Wright. And unfortunately, I hate to say it, we will have another name because it's just like they don't care. This boy was 20 years old. 20 years old.
No threat, no gun.
His mother had to listen to him take his last breath. Like that, you know what I mean? Like, understand, there is trauma all around here. And I know that when people hear, see, and watch it, that's why I could not, I saw the story. I knew that we had to cover it this morning, but I could not go in depth yesterday evening, or I wasn't going to sleep. I wasn't going to sleep. This is going to be something that kept me up. You know what I mean? Like if we go into it and we delve into it, and I know that we have to because it's our job, but I had to make sure that I was able to get on today's show and not be so triggered. But imagine the mother that had to get on that interview and talk about that. And we don't know this little boy, but the world is about to know him. And it sucks that this has to be the way that it goes. And see, it's making me emotional because it just is it's just too much. It's too much. It's a trigger for us. It's trauma to the parents. It's trauma to parents who already had to deal with this and watch this again and have to sit down and create and tell the story correctly because they know if it's up to the the cops. The story won't be told correctly. And I know that if I may, and I apologize to you because I know that we have our line of stories that we have to do, but just to knock out the other story that about the Army lieutenant, Karen Nazario, a U.S. Army second lieutenant, is suing two police officers after they pointed guns, pepper sprayed, and pushed him to the ground during a traffic stop last December, which wasn't too long ago. His lawsuit is seeking $1 million in compensatory damages, claiming that the two officers violated his First and Fourth Amendment rights. Before we take a look at this video, the reason why I brought that up, because the narrative that is being told, excuse me, the narrative that's being told by police officers are always going to be wrong. Or when they're doing something wrong, it's always going to be wrong, because if we look at the video, the narrative doesn't match. Right. The story that they're trying to tell does not match. This lieutenant is sitting in his car and he literally is doing nothing, afraid for his life. And let's just roll that video so that we can see.
I'm actively serving this country, and this is how you're gonna treat me. I didn't do anything. Whoa.
Video released by U.S. Army Lieutenant Karen Nazario's attorney shows the moment the soldier in uniform was pepper sprayed in the face with his hands raised after a traffic stop turned violent in Virginia last December.
Watch it.
Get out of the car!
The suit, filed by Nazario in early April in the U.S. District Court of Norfolk against Windsor policemen Joe Gutierrez and Daniel Crocker, alleges violations to his constitutional rights and includes assault, illegal search, and illegal detention.
What are you, a specialist, Corporal? What are you?
I'm a lieutenant.
Lieutenant, get out of the car!
Nazario's attorney, Jonathan Arthur, said his client, who is Black and Latino, was, quote, not resisting in any way, shape, or form.
The lieutenant sent me his cell phone footage first, and it was horrifying. But I kept hoping and thinking, that's only one angle. Maybe there's something I'm missing. Maybe the dash cam footage or the body cam footage will show something different. And it did. It just got worse from there.
Talk to me about what's
Get on
going
the ground!
on.
Get on the ground now!
Nazario was driving his new SUV with a temporary paper tag displayed on the back window on December 5th when he was told to pull over in Windsor, a small Virginia town southeast of Richmond. When a police cruiser signaled for him to stop, the lawsuit said Nazario put on his blinkers, slowed down, and looked for a lighted place to stop, eventually stopping at a gas station less than 2 minutes later. The suit says an officer radioed to dispatch that a driver without a tag was eluding police and was considered a high-risk stop, and another officer responded to the scene.
I'm honestly afraid to get out.
Yeah, you should be. Get out!
Nazario told police that he was afraid to get out of the vehicle. The suit says Nazario had his hands up, offered no resistance, but was pepper sprayed and violently knocked to the ground and detained. Ultimately, Nazario was released without charges.
I can't believe being treated like this.
I don't want to charge you. I will. It's my job. I don't want to.
So Virginia Governor Ralph Northam called the incident disturbing and directed the Virginia State Police to conduct an independent investigation into the matter. What this report really didn't show was the fact that if you read more on the story, and this is what mainstream media does, it takes out some really key things for you guys to understand exactly what people of color, Black people, go through. First of all, driving into a lit area for a Black person when they're being pulled over by a cop, specifically a gas station, is very important because we want to make sure that we're safe. Going into the cut with the police officer, anything could happen, okay? And the first thing that this officer said as he got out the car when he was talking to the lieutenant was like, you're going to see lightning. Mm-hmm. Open the door, and he said, you're going to see lightning. That's a term like an execution, right? Like you're going to get the chair or something like that. And in the report, when he was being interviewed, the officer about the incident, he stated that he made sure he went easy on the lieutenant because he knew that he can get in trouble, right? He would lose his place as lieutenant. you know, but I'm saying to myself, oh, you went easy on him. You were wrong. And you thought, and I believe it was an authority thing. He saw that this man was a lieutenant when the windows were rolled down. And he was like, he automatically assumed, I felt like, oh, this black man thinks he's better than me. Right. So let me belittle him, make him feel small. Right. Like, and that is what I saw there. And it was terrible. There was so much going on in that video. And the fact that this man said, this is a lieutenant that's trained. And he literally was like, I'm honestly afraid to take off my seatbelt. And the police officer continued to yell and scream, take off your seatbelt. He has his hands up and he's saying, I am afraid. And what happens? He gets pepper sprayed for voicing his fear that he may die. So I don't know. Go ahead.
And the fact that he said, I'm afraid to get out the car. And they said, you should be. Exactly. Right. Mm-hmm. And Rebecca, you hit on something real key here. Every encounter I've ever had with the police has been, for them, a dick measuring contest. They need to assert some latent insecurity over the people that they are stopping. They need to be the big man in that moment. And any type of, it doesn't matter whether you're docile and kind and you know, you try to work. It doesn't matter if you get an attitude with them. Mm-hmm. If they have it in their mind that they want to be superior to you in that moment, that's what they're going to, and that's what you saw in that clip. He said, like, what kind of rank are you? Blah, 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 blah. He said, no, I'm a lieutenant. And that made that man even more upset. Now, one of the police officers, the main police officer there in that video was fired. But let me tell you, what we're looking at in Minneapolis, we see that you have all these officers who are testifying against Derek Chauvin, right? Good. That's what they should do. But that doesn't mean that these police officers are any better. Because just down the road from Minneapolis, all those police officers that were testifying in Brooklyn Center, now you have police officers who shot and killed Daunte Wright. So it's a systemic problem across all policing agencies. And everybody wants to take the time and say not all cops are bad. Yeah, well, if you are not stopping the bad cops, you're a bad cop. Period.
James.
You already know how I feel.
Yeah.
You know, and I will say not all, there may be some good ones out there, but you're right. If y'all aren't saying anything, and maybe we don't know, maybe they are helping or doing something. Do fucking more. How about that? Mm-hmm. Do more, because this shit has to stop, man. Because what's gonna happen next?
Yeah,
I got a 20-year-old nephew, man, that I'm scared to death of going out because Buddy has wild hair, and even though he looks like he's mixed race, gonna be the first one. As you see, they don't care how the hell you look.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, man, this shit needs to.
It's not even about. You made a good point. Because I mean, as long as they see a sprinkle of color in you, or assume, or you show some kind of you stand up for yourself, right?
Yeah. Period.
If you do anything like that, they are going to make sure they make you feel small. And don't be a black person.
And
I mean, they'll do that anyway. They abuse officers, abuse authority for some reason. And it's not only officers, it's people in positions of power. We see that. Mm-hmm. But as we cover this right now, officers abuse authority. I remember being a 12-year-old little girl. My neighbors called the police on us and said that we were breaking into our own home. I walk outside for the mail. I'm 12 years old, getting the mail. I see planes or whatever in the sky. And I'm like, what? I'm looking up and it's the sheriffs. And I'm like, what? Why are they up there? And they're flying so low. Then I look in the trees and I see officers with their guns drawn on me. Then they walk over to me, put their gun on my back as a 12-year-old little girl, and told me to call into my home. Do I live there? And call into my home for all my brothers to come out, and had us all on our knees in the front of my house in handcuffs because my white neighbor believed we didn't live there. And because I told them we live here, and my dad told me, do not speak to you guys. You guys are scaring me. They made me feel even smaller as a 12-year-old. So if they can do that, okay, if they can shoot a little boy for playing with a BB gun, if they can, anything like that. These people, the officers get into these positions and they just believe, okay, I'm king, I'm the boss, I own everything. Nobody can speak to me with disrespect because I did my 1 year or whatever to become an officer.
Yeah, I wish it was that long. It's not even that long, but you're right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, so I deserve and I'm warranted respect. So it's just all around. So I'm pretty sure when Daunte Wright looked at these officers and said, I might lose my life if I go with these officers. I can see how they're looking at me. Let me go back into my car. Got shot. Because that's what officers believe is a threat. Somebody walking away from you.
And what rips me apart, Rebecca, is that he called his mother and said, I'm getting pulled over.
Yep.
And then the next thing she finds out is that he's dead. I am, James, and everybody, anybody who has Black children or Black nieces and nephews, we're terrified of our children going out into public, especially without us. I never forget, I got pulled over by this one cop. And this was a Black cop. Oh, dumbass looking. Anyway, this dude pulled me over and had literally no reason to pull me over. First thing he did was tell me to get out the car. And I had my kid, my son, my oldest son, he was newborn, and my wife was in the car. And he told me to get out. I'm like, why? And he said, don't ask why. He said, get out the car. And Jada nudged me and I got out. And he took me to the back of the car. And you want to know what it was his tone. It was his power. It was all control. But you know what he pulled me out the car for?
What?
Because I had an outliner on my tag. You know how you have the little overlay?
Yes,
and he said, I can write you a ticket for this right now and you would have to pay it. And I'm like, did you seriously do all this in front of my wife and my kid? And I didn't say it to him out loud, but in my mind, I'm like, because at that point, anything could have happened. But it's just the smallest things. These cops are sitting on the side of the highways like vultures, ready to prey on somebody over the smallest thing. My tag wasn't out of date. My license wasn't suspended. Nothing. Just the fact that I had an overlay cover on my tag. And that could have escalated had I done anything to assert my dignity above simply asking why you want me to get out the car, because that made him mad. If I had said anything else above that, I probably would have been arrested.
Yeah.
For resisting arrest.
Yes. And they are, because these officers really think that they are above everything. They'll be the ones to turn on their lights and go way past speed limit just because they do not want to be at the stoplight.
Exactly.
Then they'll be the ones behind you when you are, because you know when cops pull up behind us, we're like, please don't pull us over, please don't pull us over, please don't pull us over. And we keep looking in the back, and then we're driving the speed limit below the speed limit. They'll be the ones that keep flashing their lights at you, like, move the hell around.
Exactly.
Move the hell around. And these people, it's just too much. It's like, what are they trained for? They're trained to kill.
Yeah.
They're not army men. They're police officers. They're supposed to be to protect and serve us, yet they walk around like they trained to kill.
That's it. Yeah.
And Black folks, when they see them, they're like, hey, this is target practice for me. And I know that I can get away with this. And I know when I go, and the way that officer, with the words that the officer said in that report was like, I was doing him a favor. I made sure that what I was going to do was not report this and let him just go. And if he lets it go, I let it go, so that he wouldn't get in trouble when he goes back as an Army lieutenant, that he wouldn't lose his position. So,
and I hate this happened, because I sent something in our group telling everybody to check out this 30-minute film on Netflix called Two Distant Strangers. And it's about a cop killing a Black man. He gets killed, gets shot, and wakes back up every day and just repeats that same moment.
Oh my God.
Look at how the movie is. It's not just one person that they're talking about. It's life and what the hell that we're going through. Because every day we got to worry about somebody killing us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I hate that I shared that shit, and it's just like, God damn. Dude, that was just this weekend. I just shared that a couple of days ago. Like, here it is Monday. We're talking about this shit again.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Like
and
clockwork.
And even the video of the lieutenant, right? And I shared that. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, we got to cover this. And then for us to have like all of this to have to cover, the triggers, the trauma, the constant, us constantly having to go out and risk our lives, not knowing that because we're protesting, will we be shot down today? Will we lose a tooth or an eye or whatever because they're deciding to tear gas us or throw rubber bullets at us because we're fighting for justice for somebody that we know most likely will not get justice?
Yeah. Yeah. I know one thing. They better find Derek Chauvin guilty.
They better find that. The thing is, we are just like the videos, Ben, that we just saw of the lieutenant, getting dragged. And that man at the end of, before we get there, that man at the end of that video, that we didn't see that, he literally was crying, y'all. That made the officer excited to me. Like when you see the video of the lieutenant getting pulled on the ground, he started to cry and say he didn't do anything. And that broke me, the way he cried like a baby, which reminds me of George Floyd crying. It's like they break you down. They break you down like that and they find joy in it. And they will have their knee on your neck as you cry out for your mom. And they will literally restrain you as you begin to cry like an infant child for your life.
Because they want to, you said break, they want to break us. They want to break the people. They want to
break you and make you small. But even though we have seen it, it's so crazy that we're saying, if we're going to find Derek Chauvin, the murderer, if they don't find him guilty, but we've seen it on camera, there was more than enough evidence, more than enough witnesses, more than enough experts that we've heard, and we're still being dragged through this whole thing that literally are saying this man is guilty. But the way our justice system works, for a black man, it would have took a day. For this white man, they're giving him opportunity after opportunity after opportunity.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because they're going to drag that out. Because after last week's testimony from that physician, I'm like, bro, there's no way in hell you can come up here and ask this man any more questions. You think that you're going to change something.
Right.
Bro, if y'all find this man not guilty, bro, or acquit him, bro, burn this. Excuse me, y'all, I gotta say it. And Mama, I apologize. Burn this motherfucker down.
And that's
burn it down.
It's on period, because if it wasn't the video that told people, a video which we never used to have, now we got video. If it wasn't the video that did it, if the video from every single new angle that they showed, because it was only one that we needed, but we had it from every angle. And if that was not enough, the expert getting on there and telling y'all, the physician telling you guys that man died from a knee to the neck. Okay? If that's not enough, I don't know. I don't know, guys. They really make it that hard for us. No matter what new technology that we can come out and say, hey, we got it. They're going to start killing black folks because we got them on camera. Now they find a way to drag it out like this. It doesn't matter if it's on camera. It doesn't matter what we can do. They will still look at you in the face and say, there's more to this story than what you've seen and heard on video, moving pictures from every angle. There's more to the story.
Regardless of all the witnesses and everything that saw it, we're still going to find a reason.
The real question is America going to protect America or white supremacy?
No, white supremacy. They've been doing
They're going to protect. They're going to put, because here's the thing. Now, you both are correct, but we're talking about like the entire empire here, like the entire military industrial complex, the war machine, all that, the thing that makes people trillionaires almost, like the amount of defense spending that we spend, like that's what I'm talking about. Because what is at stake here is how much will this country protect white supremacy at the risk of this country crumbling underneath the weight of white supremacy? Because like you said, James, people not gonna put up with this. They let Derek Chauvin get off, they may as well call it a wrap, because they're gonna have everybody in the streets. So the real question is are they going to prioritize whiteness or this country? And what they've done for years is they got away with it because it was one and the same. But now we're at a place in American history where whiteness is saying, no, we don't care. Look at what happened on January 6th. January 6th was whiteness challenging America. Well, they need to understand something. Every time these police officers kill a black person, it is whiteness challenging America. And if they keep playing with us, they're going to see exactly what white supremacy is going to cost them, because it's going to cost them the entire American democratic experiment, because we're not going to put up with it. We just are not. Anyway, before we call for a full-blown revolution, let's take a little break. Let's catch our breath. And when we come back, I don't imagine we're going to get off of this too much, but more likely than not after this.
It was just a misunderstanding.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome again to Like It or Not, y'all. Here's your boy James Williams, DJ Exclusive, y'all. We're going to get into some of this music right quick and get y'all jamming this morning, y'all. Make sure that you hit the Patreon, join the Patreon, patreon.com/like it or not, patreon.com/like it or not. And make sure y'all stay tuned. Next break, we are going to get you some of our new Patreons and read those off to you, y'all. So stay tuned. More Like It or Not is coming up. Make sure that you hit that like button, comment, subscribe. And good morning, Mama. Good morning, Sensation. Miss Martha, good morning. Good morning, Esther. Martha, that movie was called Two Distant Strangers on Netflix. Two Distant Strangers on Netflix. Everybody needs to check that out, man. Brother Chuck Diesel, good morning. Good morning. Brother Goku, Fairy Girl, good morning, ma'am. There you go. I appreciate that. Nick, good morning. Good morning. Infinite Content, what's going on, brother? Good morning. Brother Goku, good morning. Sweet Miss Mochi, good morning. My sister, y'all, that's my sister. Good morning, sis. Love you. That means if your sister's watching, that means my nieces and nephew watching. Good morning, y'all. I love y'all so much, okay? Brandon, good morning. Melanie, good morning, y'all. Alicia, good morning, ma'am. Good morning. Savage Sweetheart, I watched the first 3 episodes of them, and I don't know if I like it or not myself. It was, especially now, if everything that's going on, I don't know if I too much care for it right now. Environmental Coffee House, good morning. And the Heart, you are absolutely right. Tiger Cat Sunny, thank you for your super chat. Says, I don't know about y'all, but it's so coming in Virginia to have your tags taped in the back window like that, especially on I-95. It's like 1 out of every 7 cars. Not of that was necessary. None of that was necessary. I got you. Thank you again, Tiger. Peter Griffin. When I tell you that is probably one of my favorite shows to watch right now, I'm loving it. I'm a big animation head. When I get you back, oh yeah. Daniel, good morning. Good morning. Pixie on the Moon, good morning. When I get you back, oh yeah. Miss Brenda, good morning. When I get you back, oh yeah. I promise you'll never leave me. Good morning, everybody. Make sure that y'all are hitting that like button. Hit that like button, y'all. Share, comment, subscribe, so you know when Like It or Not is going down, y'all. Y'all stay tuned. Brian Smith, good morning. Congratulations on that first dose. I think Goku, I think you fully vaccinated now. And I go get my second dose this afternoon. So this ought to be fun. It's Truth the Dragon. Good morning. On and on it goes. Oh my gosh. Promised Neverland has been my favorite. Of course, Demon Slayer. I'm an old school anime head. Robotech is my stuff. Of course, Dragon Ball Z, GT, and Super. So it's a whole lot of it, man. I try to watch it what I can, and I'm a Crunchyroll head. Latif, good morning. Thank you for your super chat. Keep good vibes flowing, Bubba. Thanks. Yeah, I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate that a whole lot. Fair girl, I appreciate that. Oh, Goku, thank you. And that's what I'm scared of. They said that the second dose is like the one that's gonna really hit you. So that's why I'm getting it today. So tomorrow, if I need to call off work, then I'll be all right. When I get you back, oh yeah, I promise you'll never. Thank you, Rebecca. I appreciate that. There's no one else I'd rather be with. My Hero Academia is like hands down one of my top favorites. I binge watched that like over a whole weekend. You know, Naruto, I still have to look at it. I haven't watched the full thing, so I gotta get up on Naruto. Death Note, see Death Note. Bleach is my good one as well too. Man, are you serious? Vampire Hunter D? Man, that was, of course, that and Ninja Scroll. Ninja Scroll was my ish back in the day too. You know what? What I'm going to go ahead and do, I'm going to go ahead and get this patron list read to y'all. Let's get our new patrons taken care of real quick. All right, y'all. Here it is. Our new list of patrons, and all the following patrons are now with the Like It or Not patron page. So congratulations and thanks to y'all. So here we go. New patrons. Justin S. Welcome, welcome. Tempest A. Tammy Fairy Girl Wolf. Welcome, welcome. Evie. Come on, Pokemon. Welcome, welcome. Paul H, welcome to the fold. Savage Sweetheart, welcome to the Pride. Savage Sweetheart, all. DF Barnwell, welcome. DF Barnwell, welcome. Deanna M, welcome, welcome, ma'am. Trevor P, welcome to Like It or Not. Sarah M, welcome, welcome. Melanie G, welcome to Like It or Not. Cameron M, if I haven't said your name already, I think I just said it. Welcome, welcome. And also we have a few BPD patrons as well too. Tammy Fairy Girl Wolf joined both of them, girl. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Brandon W, welcome, welcome. Eric D, Justin R, Russell M, Kirk G, Brittany B, welcome, welcome. And the following two people, S Brown and David T, they actually increased their membership level. So welcome, welcome, and thank y'all so much again. We appreciate y'all. We are one step closer, Rebecca, to getting freedom. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus.
Hallelujah.
Hurry up and give us free, please.
All right, there you go. Let's do that. Hey.
Hashtag free us. you know, free us up
Hashtag
from
free
corporations.
Rebecca, free Bubba.
Free Bubba.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I had to get y'all a little music, man, just to brighten up the soul.
Oh, no.
Because I know we got a
And
whole
then
lot left.
you saying everybody's name too, you know.
Yeah.
Like Brittany B, welcome. Savage Sweetheart, welcome. And that looked all I thought was your cheek.
I know all this hair just.
Oh man. I was trying to think of what James, you're a comic book head.
Yeah, that's funny, Ben. We were just talking about anime stuff in the chat room. That's what I was just talking with the card about. That's funny that you say that. What you got, brother?
Yeah. No. As she was listing, I anytime somebody lists the username, I always go back to the first Transformers movie. Are you with Wiki 035? You remember that part where they were trying to find out? Anyway, it's real. It's real. It's in the weeds.
Because I don't know what they talking about, y'all.
Yeah, Transformers the movie was my ish, dude. Transformers, that's like one of my favorite ones. That and G.I. Joe the movie.
Oh yeah, G.I. Joe was actually pretty good. That was a really good remake. Now somewhere around Transformer 18, it was like, okay, it's enough. Y'all need to stop. Like, it just kept going and kept going. I'm like, enough's enough. Anyway, man, it is. James, thank you. We appreciate the work that you do, man, because it brings us back from the brink, man. Because it's a lot. It's a lot sometimes. So that said, we talked about DMX on Friday, and that was before we knew, even before he had passed. And we had a moment to reflect on him on Friday, but I think we should talk about the man a little bit.
We got to do it right.
Yeah.
We got to do it right. So DMX, a famed musician, he passed away on Friday. According to a statement, let me say that again. DMX, a famed musician, a great artist, a great poet, a great father, just a great leader. He didn't even know it, but he was a prophet. He passed away on Friday, according to a statement released by the artist's family. We are deeply saddened to announce today that our loved one, DMX, birth name Earl Simmons, passed away at 50 years old at White Plains Hospital with his family by his side after being placed on life support for the past few days. As we know, that was last week. DMX had been hospitalized for over a week due to a heart attack. So as we commemorate him here on Like It or Not, we wanted to show him in how we remember him and in how we were even shocked from little gems that people were dropping all over social media. Yeah. I know you guys were shocked. It was like, that was, wow.
That man was everywhere.
It was great. Here's one. We're going to start with this tweet. Here is DMX one summer evening in 2003. Someone said, I was walking by Lincoln Park High School in Chicago and stumbled upon DMX, who was by himself racing. It's having the time of his life. Pure joy. It was a surreal experience. Rest in peace. And this picture was posted in response to the tweet, DMX holding a remote control. We can't confirm that this is the same date, but there are many pictures online showing DMX playing with remote control cars and helicopters.
Kid.
Yes. I just look, I absolutely love to see him like that. Look at him.
Like a big kid. Yeah.
So the next one, this next one, it's not the proper way to be commemorating this man. As we know, the same day that DMX did pass, the Prince passed. The Daily News put that Prince Philip and DMX they put Prince Philip and DMX on their front page as they both passed away on Friday. But while the headline for Prince Philip was kept more positive and regal, the headline for DMX labeled him troubled, as they do with a lot of the men that they shoot down here in America. They'll make sure they try to vilify them in any kind of way or make them seem like they were troubled. They had no mom, no dad. They always want to make sure they put that as first. But Prince Philip's headline read, "Beloved, Royal is gone at age 99. Nice, right? DMX headline, "Brilliant but troubled musician dies at 50. Just say black man dead. That's how I felt like it was, just black man dead. He is brilliant, but he's an artist. And if we knew, people that don't know and cover this man, like these white publications like the Daily News, you know what I mean?
Pause real quick. I'm sorry, Rebecca. Excuse me real quick. Somebody get CH in the chat room for me, please. Thank you.
CH? All right, I'll take care of it.
Okay.
Donkey
CH,
from
don't
Shrek.
play because
Thank you.
Bubba now is the
Don't play
police
with me.
officer. Bubba now is the authoritarian in
Don't
our
Bye,
play in
CH.
my face because I get
Okay.
your ass. Don't play in my face, goddamn it. I'm sorry.
So I
Go
don't
ahead,
know what's
Rebecca.
happening in there, but do not play with him.
It's just, you know what it is? It's more whiteness trying to remind us of any little thing. If you sneeze the wrong way in middle school and you die as a black person, these white folks who are drenched with white supremacy are going to pull that up, and that's all they're doing. They are here for no other reason but to try to snatch away the amount of people, the joy from the amount of people who have so many wonderful memories of DMX. So
Okay, I
F
figured.
them.
So yeah,
Go ahead,
bye,
Rebecca.
CH. No, it's fine. It's fine. So just like the Daily News was trying to do, right?
Exactly.
And you know what? We won't even stay on it too long. That was a perfect example. Whiteness, we're out of here. Blackness will shine, especially on Like It or Not. So let's take a look at a better view of DMX. I know that we lost him, but even in his last words, he said things that we can look at him and believe that he actually felt like he had a good life. Let's take a look at his last words.
I could drop dead right now.
Oh, you're not.
That's what I'm saying. If I was to drop dead right now, my last thought would be, I've had a good life. God damn it.
Oh man.
I still get chills. Like how do I get chills from that? You know what?
Right.
It's like he said, but even in the moment, you know how even on here, if we say something remotely like, yeah, man, I thought I wasn't gonna make it. You like yesterday, Rebecca, right? You thought you weren't, like, but you're here, you're good. Like we have to correct ourselves. Like we don't speak about death. It's like so crazy. We're not gonna speak about death. Especially with us, because we love each other and we're like, no, don't say that. People dropping dead. So that's how they felt, right? They were like, no, you're not dropping dead. But he's like, listen to me. If I were to drop dead right now, my last thought would be, I've lived a good life. And to know that that's what you felt before you left, that helps us have a sense of peace, right? Go ahead, Ben.
And that's what all these stories that people are sharing show.
Yes.
Right? All the stories that people are sharing shows that he not only had a good life, but he was a good person. And he showed he was never too big. Like this was one of the biggest selling artists of all time, hip hop artists of all time, but he was never too big to spend time and show compassion and love and be a part of the rest of our lives. And that's why so many people have so many pictures of him, because he took the time to be a human. Go ahead, Brett.
No, he took the time to be a human, and it's funny that you say that because there's a special Rough Riders special on BET. That's about all the Rough Riders and how they became. But it was particularly DMX's portion that keeps you captivated and glued to the television, because it shows him how he got introduced to drugs, or his story about how he got introduced to drugs. And that was from another musician or artist.
I think it was
that
his
he
manager or
looked up
something.
to.
Yeah.
What was his name?
I think it was a manager or somebody.
Yeah, it was something like that. And he said he looked up to him, and he was introduced to drugs that way. And he said he just couldn't believe that. But then it was the abandonment he felt from his mother and all of that. But everybody in the Rough Riders crew said they looked at this man like, this man is so like selfless. He gives and he gives and he gives and he gives. And Swiss Beats, who we know was a part of Rough Rider as well, he put out a video 2 days ago, finally being able to speak. And he talked about how he dreamt of, he couldn't sleep, he couldn't eat. He had the chills when he found out that DMX had a heart attack. And he said, he was praying for him to pull through, but then had a dream that DMX came to him in a dream. And he just smiled at him and they were kicking it. And he hugged him, but didn't say a word, and then just kind of walked out. And he looked back and gave him a smile. And he said that's how he knew that his brother was in peace and that he was going to go. And then, and then he was in tears on the video. And then he said, DMX, I got to let people know the truth. He would go to jail for peace. He would literally go to jail to get away from the world, to find peace and to save himself and to be in that moment. He's like, and he said in the video, he's like, D, I got to tell the people the truth. And then he would come out and feel like he's a stronger man. And all he did was give to people. He said, you never seen him. And this is true, guys. You never see DMX posting up with 17 Bentleys. You never see him trying to rock all these chains just because if it wasn't for a video shoot, you would never see him just like rocking all these chains or anything. You always seen him like in a place where he's either preaching, talking about his life in some way, just telling people and encouraging folks. And I sat back and I said, wow, that really is. We all knew Aaliyah and how she was baby girl, like she was my favorite singer, you know. And then, you know, then to see DMX, who was this rough guy, who's supposed to be this rough guy. But when you see them together, it's like he's so protective over her. And then anybody that worked along with him, he was just so protective. And Swiss Beats said, if he didn't like you, there was nothing I can do about that. But if he loved you, there was also nothing I can do about that because he was going to love you.
That's what's up.
He was going to love you. And that to me is amazing. So in another video that was posted online, it also shows how DMX is just everywhere. DMX is shown dancing at an Albanian wedding. According to the post online, the backstory is that DMX was in Albania for a show and the wedding was taking place at the hotel he was staying at. He crashed the wedding and danced with those attending. Let's take a look.
There he is.
Oh, we're watching now. Look at him. Look.
It just
First of all, he's so New York.
And when I say
New York, he's from upstate. That's a different level. This man, they believe that they are the New York as well. He's so New York.
They are the New York.
Yes.
Every sense of the word.
And he's like, I mean, it was, they welcomed him as much as he welcomed them. Like it was like they knew each other all these years, but they had just met and he crashed their wedding. And if the end of this video, I think is going to come up here pretty soon. Like he daps him up and he hugs him. It's like these have been his people forever. And that's the kind of love this man just kind of showed right here. Boom. Like, yeah, man, I know you. Yeah, it's all right, bro. You know what I mean? Like that's love, man. I love that video.
Yes, just to see him, like, you know. And my favorite video we're gonna play. So the illustrious university, you know,
the only one time that we give this dual credit.
The historical Florida agricultural
hang on, Rebecca. Hang on,
university.
Rebecca. Let me introduce this one. Let me introduce this.
No,
one,
Ben, but you stopped me Ben, hold on.
No, let me introduce it because I'm the one who recommended the video.
Yeah, but I'm the one that lived the life, you know, like even like listen.
Well, actually, me and James were on the sideline.
You weren't there. We were there.
So, you were on the sideline.
But listen, every time at my school, they play. It's a staple.
Let her get him on.
It's a state, yes. And then don't ever cut me off when I'm saying my school's name the way I was. Ben, you can still introduce it. You can still introduce it as a wildcat. But when I am saying Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University, October 3rd, 1887, what? I represent that school. So when you can't cut me off, that's like cutting me. That I can't. It's not real. But anywho, this particular song that was played by the band is a staple. No matter what year you go to FAM, on the set they play it, and we know what to do and we know how to do it. This is like something that's embedded in us. It doesn't matter if you was a foreign kid, never heard of DMX in your life. By the time you leave FAM, you know what to do when the song comes on. But go ahead, Ben. I would love for you as a wild.
So anyway, Rebecca was 8 years old when this happened.
Was she 8?
She was 8. This was 1998. Now, me and James were on the sideline for this. Matter of fact, I'm the one who found the clip. I found the clip and I sent it over for us to do it because I want everybody to listen to a stadium filled with 90, I don't know, maybe 80,000 people.
Like 80,000?
80,000 people. And I want you to listen to how they started singing this DMX song. And shout out to the 100, because this would be the only time that I would say, I sat on the sideline. I was literally facing the band and they dropped this joint and I was like, oh, it's a wrap. They murked us. It was a wrap right when they did this. Shout out to FAMU. Most importantly, shout out to DMX, because this is the impact that he had on everybody. Play it real quick.
Yes.
100, surpassing your expectation for music and being the best.
Man,
Now,
our face on the sideline, bruh. And
My
that's
face
like
was-
that was Florida Classic, everybody. I don't understand. That's like our last game
biggest
of the
game.
season,
Our-
biggest
Yeah.
game of the year, our rival game.
Yeah.
So
I
here
was
it
a
is
freshman
as
that year.
freshmen. We were coming out like, you know what? This
I
our
was in
last game. We
elementary
about
school?
to go get it. We about to go get it. And then FAMU came with that, and we just like, oh.
It was a wrap.
Well.
It was a wrap
It was
because
like,
I
oh.
had never heard 90,000 people screaming the same thing at the same damn time ever in my
Singing
life.
it. Yep.
Everybody. I mean, hell, I was on the sideline when they played that. I threw my horn. I was like, stop. It didn't matter who you were, where you were. Everybody felt that moment. And that's because that's the Rough Riders anthem.
And that's
it was
Rough
amazing.
Riders anthem, and that's what that is something that gives you like you feel gritty, but at the same time you feel like you want to do a line dance, and at the same time you just can't control yourself. Like you want to grab your partner by the neck and just be like, hey, it's just that feel good kind of song. And FAMU, that's one of our, like I said, that literally when you go to the set, if there's any functions, the DJ will be like, y'all already know what to do, and then he drops that beat, and everybody goes, hey. That's literally a staple at our school.
You still could do it like you can still, James, and you could testify to this. You can still play that cut today.
Yes.
20 years, well, 23 years later, and everybody's gonna stop, shut them down.
It's funny.
Open up shop.
In the documentary for the Rough Riders, you know, at first he didn't like that beat. And they were saying like, you know, if you, I think it was like a card game. If we win this card game, was it spades or whatever? If you win it, you gotta do the song. And he was like, he lost it. Actually, if he loses it, and he lost it, and he ended up having to do the song, and it became what made everybody understand, know, love DMX. And like that. I'm glad he didn't pass on that song. And I'm glad that because of that song, he was able to show everybody his real. Like everything.
That's what made Swiss Beats popular. That's what got Swiss Beats started in the game.
No, that's
Swiss
honestly
used
that's
to do
what built
all their
Rough
music
Riders
for them.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That was the beginning. That's how you knew Rough Riders were here. Yeah. I mean, everybody after that, like the whole Rough Riders album was amazing, but that song right there was the one that sent them to the stratosphere, and that was DMX.
Yeah, it's funny because he you know, he was the dog, and then you had the girl on the label with the paw prints on the boobies, Eve, and it was like, so it was like, it was just, it was a good. I missed those days. I really used to be watching like, oh, this is great. And DMX was fine to me when I was little. I was little, I was thinking DMX was fine. But yes, DMX was fine to me. Like it was that grittiness. He had it. And he was a poet. And you know, it's for some people like who never knew how to pray or never heard prayer. This same man who you would look at in the street and, you know, to be considered a thug, was the same man that was preaching in music. Like,
my Savior lives.
I love it.
I don't know why.
And I see him
Alexa, play "Get at Me, Dog."
Look, don't be talking to my.
Oh man, listen, we got a lot of we got a lot of stories that we are going to cover. But today is obviously a different day. Considering everything we had to cover out of Minneapolis, out of Brooklyn Center, as well as what's going on in Virginia, the police shootings all over. I mean, but more importantly, it's an important day because we're here with you and you're here with us. If you're a patron, get ready to stay tuned. If you're a Twitch subscriber, stay tuned. We're going to kick it over to the after show where we're going to talk about a whole lot more. We have all the stories lined up that we didn't get a chance to cover. But before we go into the after party, James, Rebecca, James, y'all want to, Rebecca, jump in there, get your last words in before we go to the after party.
Yep. And before we get to the after party, for those of you guys who did give super chats, you guys will also be open to our after show as well. David will be sending you guys the link. And you guys just keep your heads, you know, try to keep, I know it's a lot of news that we didn't get to, but that's because we had these major stories. And I want you guys to make sure if you can today, put yourself in some kind of form of self-care, because I know that this may get heavy as we continue to go on and we view and see these protests begin to take it, because they already took place. So they already started to take place as soon as the word got out about Daunte. So please, if you can, make sure you guys take care of yourselves mentally as we take on these stories. And I love you guys, and I mean that. It's Monday.
Yeah.
Don't let the Mondays be a thing.
Don't let the Mondays be a thing.
Don't let that, the idea of, oh, it's just the case of the Mondays. No, let's start changing that. Make Monday great in your lavender or whatever you got on today. I love you guys. Mean it.
And Rebecca, I'm glad you said that, because when I was making my coffee, I was just like, I leaned over the sink, like, oh, it's Monday. But then I was like, you know what? I gotta change that thinking. You know what? Don't think about it like that. It's Monday. Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's get this Monday.
It's Monday.
Let's get it
another week. Thank you, God, for life.
Another week. Exactly. Yeah. Same thing what Rebecca said, y'all. Love y'all, mean it. Y'all make sure that y'all stay tuned. Thank you again. And if you missed the patron party, you missed a hell of a good one.
Oh, did they ever?
Oh, shout out to
I fell asleep after work and I missed the whole patron party. And then it was like 2 a.m. Ben and Bubba talking about some girl, come on in. I'm like, first of all, the bonnet.
It was like 2 o'clock, wasn't it? I'm like, come on. And that's what I was just about to shout out. Industrial Arts from Denver. Yeah. My God, bruh. Shout out to you, man. He just sent the super chat as well, too. He made a like it or not metal artwork sign, Rebecca, live
on the fly.
Why I didn't see it?
He did it on the fly. Actually, but let's do it like this. Industrial Arts, I need you to send a picture of that to David at easton42nd.com, and so that we could put it on the screen in the after party, and then we'll share it on the screen in the main show tomorrow. But our brother, he came to the party, and all we saw was like just, flamethrowers just doing work, you know what I mean? And then next thing I know, he turned around and it was a whole ass like it or not.
Now,
can we get it? When are we getting it? Why?
Exactly.
It
took like Ben 30 minutes to figure out what it was, but I was just like, Ben, you don't see it, Ben?
Well, I literally couldn't see it. I couldn't, because I didn't know what I was looking at.
No one sent it to me, though. No one sent it to me.
Well, we don't have a picture of it. We didn't get a screenshot of it.
Why didn't I get a video too? Why did you guys see it on video and I didn't?
Because you didn't show up. That's why.
Because you was outside the club and you couldn't get in.
You guys are bullies.
But I was there. Believe it. I partied until 2 o'clock in the morning. Y'all know my old ass. I be sleeping at 8:30.
Ben made the whole party.
Stayed to the end of the party.
Ben was twerking.
Yeah, we did. Oh yeah. We set it up a little bit. We did. I felt a little something in my knee the next morning. So yeah.
Definitely.
I don't have Megan knees. I got Bertha knees. That's a guy like Megan.
My mama's name is Bertha. She got knees.
Oh,
well, see, I got knees. I got knees, but they just
I got Gwen. I got Gwen knees. Gwen didn't have the knees replaced, so I got Gwen knees. Love you, mama.
It was great. It was great. Shout out to S. Minch for the super chat before we get out of here. Read that. You see that one, James?
Yeah, it says, I got 2 of them, actually. Oh, actually, Teresa Washington sent 5, and also Industrial Art. Shout out to the brother. And also, S. Mitch, good morning, y'all. Today is a great day because Charles Booker just announced his exploratory committee for Senate in my state of Kentucky. It's good to hear.
That's what's up. That's good to hear. All right, James, take us out of here with some music. We're going to go over to the after party, patreon.com/like it or not. Or if you're a Twitch subscriber, you can get it there. And if you are a patron of the Benjamin Dixon Show, you already have the link. We'll see you guys at the after party.
See you in a few, y'all.
I know the laughter and the pain. Will I ever love again? I don't know if I can take it anymore. So I stay here and hold my heart when you walk out the door. Made a promise to myself and I repeat it in my head. Said to